In game week 3, Diouf was my highest scoring player with 10 points and he was on the bench. And now in game week 4, Van de Ven is my highest scoring player with 14 points on my bench. And it brings me to one question and one question only. Faye, isn't it time for you to use your wildcard? The answer to that question is yes and no. And I will explain as we go along with the video. I'll also be talking about how my team did in game week 4 and how my team will be lining up for game week 5. Also telling you about possible key players I believe you should target. I'm not going to make it too long, but those key players are players you cannot resist and why you should be targeting these players. If you like what you see so far, please like and subscribe, and let's get straight into how my team did for game week 4. So I'll hold my hand up high and say that yes, I made a mistake with Van de Ven. He had no business staying on the bench and Diouf had no business starting that team for me. Tottenham are the better side and I expect Tottenham with the results, but I just felt because of how West Ham performed in their last game, they might have just switched up a gear and one decided to bring the game to Tottenham, but that was not the case. Munoz, disappointing because he actually got a 5-pointer, actually brought him in for attacking return and also a possible clean sheet, but he ended up getting 5 and instead of 6. It's all good. Kukurea didn't even start the game and he came on later on. I actually thought at one point he wasn't going to play that much and I felt like, oh, Van de Ven will also sub for me, but that was not the case. Semenyo every week keeps showing us why we should own him as an FPL asset. We just discovered he's on penalties as well and I will gladly take that. Mo Salah, which is one player I'm going to be talking about lightly in the next section against Haaland. He was my captain. He actually got an 18-pointer, but the game itself was synced. He just got lucky with a penalty and that's 18 points. That's Mo Salah, is a midfielder, got bonus points as well and also got the clean sheet points as well. Mateta, underwhelming, brought him in on a -4 and he ended up getting me 2 points. Not the most disappointing thing is Watkins and Rogers, even though Rogers was on the bench. 0 points from them. Haven't been able to score in the Premier League this season and Reinders misses a one-on-one that could have been a Haaland assist. Even though I don't have Haaland, it's like, okay, at least do something for me. So the team is actually not horrible. It's just that I could have done better because I have those assets that were going to give me the points in Van de Ven. But I will go into the segments where I tell you why I'll be using my wildcard in game week 6 instead of game week 5 and possible players I feel you should be going for in your teams for game week 5. So if you have Haaland in your team, you are doing well, just keep him. I'm pretty sure you need him for the game against Burnley, so there's no point selling him. 5 goals so far and 37 FPL points so far already in just 4 game weeks. That is something remarkable. Putting Haaland and Salah against each other, it's like Salah just gets away with these points while Haaland is out here actually scoring them. So I'm not even going to lie, Haaland looks like the better pick right now and Haaland looks like a player you should actually own right now. If you're going to be bringing Haaland in, that is why I say if you're going to be using your wildcard, you use your wildcard to actually bring players in that you couldn't bring in on normal transfers. So for Haaland, apart from trying to make up funds for it, it looks like you're going to actually have to remove money from other areas. Doing that on transfers, you can't be getting a -8 because you want to do these transfers. You do these transfers on a wildcard, which is why I also said last week that if I was going to do a wildcard, it was to be bringing Saka in. But Saka is hasn't returned yet. And the thing is, Palmer is back. So I might just be putting Palmer as a placeholder for Saka. He also scored in the last game and I'll be taking that into long, strong strides. But Semenyo is also another player I want to talk about. He keeps telling us why we need him in our teams every game week. 3 goals and 2 assists already. This guy already has 36 points on FPL and we can see that he has elevated his game tremendously. This is not Semenyo from last season. He's either assisting or he's taking shots or he's missing big chances. At least he's getting those big chances and I like the way Bournemouth are playing. So overall, Semenyo is just a guy you need to have. For me, David Raya is not just, I put David Raya here because he's not just representing David Raya, he's representing the Arsenal backline and I feel like David Raya is actually the easiest way into that Arsenal defense. You need Arsenal defense because they are really good and they have really good fixtures coming up after game week 7. I believe they have West Ham in game week 7 and they also have Fulham in game week 8 and probably Palace in game week 9, but that's a long way out. We don't know what's going to happen. Personally, I might be going for Donnarumma on a wildcard, but David Raya is actually not far off. So if I do Donnarumma, that means I'm going to have been Gabriel or there's going to be some coverage whatsoever. I'm going to do an overhaul of my team. Those West Ham players, Villa players are going to be leaving and we're going to be seeing fresh players on my squad. So these 3 players for now are players I feel you should get into your teams because they're just essential. So you want to get Arsenal, Liverpool players basically and Bournemouth in a way because of the likes of Senesi. You have Evan Nielsen there too and also our man Semenyo. But let's go into how my team is going to be lining up for game week 5 and let's conclude the video. video. So this is how my team is going to be lining up for game week 5. We have Sales in goal against Burnley, Kukurea against Man United, Van de Ven against Brighton, and Munoz against West Ham. So that is the defense. It's not the best, but my guess is that Sales is going to have a draw, so that's going to be a clean sheet. I'm also guessing Kukurea is going to have a clean sheet as well, because I'm not really expecting any goals from that game, because that's how Man United and Chelsea just play. And even though they do play, hopefully Kukurea comes out with some assist points. Gakpo, Salah, Semenyo, and Rogers. So Rogers and Watkins are going to be playing in this game because both of them actually have Sunderland. So we're going to capitalize on that fixture and also capitalize on the fact that this is the last time they'll be playing for me in my team. Mateta also has West Ham, and I'm expecting some goals from him. João Pedro has Man United, also expecting some goals from him. I'm a Man United fan, but it's just crazy to know how we've been playing under Amorim, and I don't really know if the game against Chelsea is going to be a game that is going to be defining something for the squad. So I will take my chances on Chelsea players instead of Man United players. On the bench, we have Dubravka, Reinders, Diouf, and Esteve. Reinders stays on the bench because it's a fixture against Arsenal. I know Reinders is a good player, and even on a wild card, I probably still be keeping him. But as for this team and for this game, this is how I will be lining up. So guys, that's my team for game week 5. I'm not going to be making any transfers. Mo Salah is going to be my captain. Watkins and Rogers are going to be having a last hurrah against Sunderland, and I'm going to be using my wildcard in game week 6. I'm not using my wildcard in game week 5 because the players I want to get are Haaland and Arsenal players, and they play against each other, and there's certain other key players I want to get into, and game week 5 just doesn't seem like the best week. If you use your wildcard already, I hope you're doing well, but game week 6 for me is actually when I want to use my wildcard. Initially wanted to use a free hit in game week 6 for Haaland, but it feels like I want to own Haaland beyond game week 6, and which is why I'll be using a wildcard instead. This is the reason why you take your time to actually use certain chips, especially a chip like the wildcard. But if you like what you've seen so far, and if you are watching up to this point, please like, subscribe, and we will be catching each other every week as I post these videos every week, at least a video a week. But I also want to start posting 2 videos a week, maybe one video previewing how the team did and another video for transfer targets. I also had this new graphics, and I'm really happy about them. If you like them, you could send it in the comments. Tell me how you look, tell me how they look, and tell me other things you feel like I could use to elevate my FPL experience for you guys. But don't want to blab too much. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see each other on the next one.